Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Wise Advice Podcast. I'm your host, FatDag. The lovely Mrs. Daggett is here as well. Hello.
Good morning.
How are you?
Almost awake.
Oh, come on. It's like 10:40.
So it's Sunday.
True. Happy Halloween, by the way.
Happy Halloween.
Are you excited?
Yes, I'm excited for it to be over so all the candy will be gone.
Yes. We bought too much candy, I think, this year. We better have, hey, if you're listening, you better come knock on the door because we will give away way too much candy.
Full-size candy.
Yep, we do the full-size candy bars. You know, it's kind of funny, like if you ask a kid if he wanted a handful of candy or a full-size bar, they'll take the full-size bar, but you get more with a handful sometimes.
Probably.
Yeah, so anyway, hey, I got a great show for you coming up today. Laura has written in an email that we're going to share with you, but before we dive in, just wanted to touch base with you. I know a lot of you out there use this podcast as a way to motivate you to get outside, do some exercising, do some walking, do some running. I know a lot of you are limiting yourself to only listening, only being able to listen if you're doing a physical activity. I think that's great. I think it's so fun that you have those rules and limits set up in place. So welcome to all of you. I hope you're out there. Get your shoes laced up, get your goggles on, whatever it is you're doing, and have a great day, right? Make it a great day. That's the whole point of doing this, is just to live your best life. So before we dig in, I just want to see if there's anything else you want to hit before we go, and then we'll go ahead and get into Laura's email.
No, I just wanted to say again, like you said, happy Halloween to everybody, and hope you enjoy your evening. We're excited for fall to officially be really kicking off in Indiana, and the leaves are changing. It's getting beautiful here. It's more motivation to be outside right now.
Absolutely. I don't know if you guys have saw, but I put it on Connect. I put it on, Instagram as well, and maybe even Twitter. But we went for a bike ride yesterday. We don't go every day. I go every day. Janine goes most days, and take the dog with us. And so we rode down this path. And it's kind of hard to describe, but there was an old abandoned railroad trail called the Monon Trail. And the city of Carmel and Indianapolis and now Westfield have all converted that to a paved path. It stretches about 27 miles, but it used to be, like I said, a railroad track. And no exaggeration, it borders the property we're at right now. So our backyard, you walk out of the house, boom, you're right there and you're on the trail. So we go walking, bike riding, whatever it is we do on that trail. And it's just, yesterday I posted a video of Janine riding down the trail with the dog, and you can hear the dog in the background, and you can just see the fall colors and the fall leaves. It's just such a beautiful day to be out enjoying, as someone put on Connect, God's gym, right? So, and it's great to get out and get the fresh air. So I encourage you all to go do that. So again, first email comes in from Laura. She says, "Hey, good afternoon, FatDag. I know you've never gone away, but I'm so glad that you're back podcasting. I thought I would do my part and send in an email, as I know we're all in this together. I know it takes us all sharing our journeys to continue the podcast. Well, your podcasts have helped me so much in the past, and I'm looking forward to getting back in the habit of listening while walking or doing household chores. They truly help me to stay motivated, and I realize that I'm not alone in this lifelong weight loss journey. I often feel like if the person writing in can do it with all the challenges they have going on, well, then so can I. I'm a lifetime member above goal by less than 10 pounds, but about 20 pounds above where I would like to be. More importantly to me, though, is that I don't feel great. I don't feel comfortable in my own skin, and I do not have the energy I have when I'm eating better and exercising more consistently. I don't feel proud of how I'm caring for myself, and I don't feel like I'm being a great health role model for my two kiddos. I'm not where I want to be with good routines, exercises, eating habits, and such. Like a lot of others, the COVID pandemic has brought a lot of stress into my life. I've been using eating to calm my nerves. The bad habits have crept back in. I'm a working mom with two school-age children. Having them home virtually learning last year stopped my daily exercise routines. I also stopped my gym membership due to being uncomfortable being in the gym with COVID. I work as a hospital physician assistant, and I've been taking care of the COVID patients since the beginning. It's probably obvious to most that my stress at work has dramatically increased over the past year. Over the past month or so, I've finally come to the reality that I need to take control of my stress. I need to learn to deal with my stress in more productive ways. Our new reality is likely going to be here for some time to come, and I can either wallow in self-pity and make excuses, or I can adapt and I can do something about it. If I'm being honest, I have the time, the tools, and the support that I need to live a healthy lifestyle. I just have to learn to make them a priority again. Our lives have changed since the pandemic, but I have to learn to rework my habits. I also have to realize that I don't have to have a perfect plan to get going. I just have to get started and do the best that I can for that day. So, about a month ago, I started tracking points on the Blue plan. At one time, I was upset with WW for switching the plans. I now realize that there is not one perfect plan. I can make a Blue plan work for me now. As far as exercising goes, I have made the commitment to just keep moving every single day. I have an elliptical, a spin bike, weights in my basement. I have running and walking shoes. I have an 8-month-old puppy that could always use a walk and access to an indoor pool for swimming laps. I also have used YouTube for yoga and lifting routines. I started making an exercise plan and a meal plan for the week again. My journey this month has not been perfect. In fact, it's been a little inconsistent. But I did manage to lose almost 5 pounds since recommitting to WW and regular exercise. I know that my success has more to do with consistency than it has to do with perfection. You taught me that several years ago. So bottom line is that I just want to say hello and thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for believing in me and in all of us. I wish us all good focus. Your friend, Laura. Laura, you have summed up quite a bit, and I always love it when our readers and listeners send in emails like this, because this could have, signed by Laura for sure, but this probably could have been signed by, hundreds of thousands of different people at various different stages. And so, Laura, thanks for putting into words what so many of us are thinking and feeling. And I believe truly that is what this podcast and this community is all about. There isn't a perfect plan. You outlined it quite frankly. There isn't a single perfect plan. If you look at any single, Google, how do I lose weight? And, it'll be 15 trillion pages long of all the possible things you can do. Every single one of those things in some way, shape, or form will aid to your success. The difference is getting into consistent mode and doing it, right? However, the piece that I think is missing more often, and I think this is kind of how we got started here, in the kind of the piece that I think makes the most impact, is understanding that we're not alone in this journey. Having a community of people who get it and you can relate to, and you can hear and you can watch, and then you can see that the challenges and struggles they have going on in their life do not hinder their ability to do it if they're so destined to do it. Seeing that, right? When you talk about, I believe social media has kind of tweaked us a little bit, where you've heard people say social media is the highlight reel, right? People only post their amazing vacation and their amazing kids and their amazing, all the things they're doing right in life, people post. Not so often do people post the challenges and the struggles and the ugly side of their life, right? And we all got that ugly side, I promise you. But we don't share that because, we just, whether it be embarrassment or guilt or shame or whatever, we don't share that ugly side. So therefore, because we all have one, when you watch someone else's highlight reel, all the amazing success they've had, and you're struggling to find that success, that comparison sneaks in and you say, well, you know what? I can't do this, right? So-and-so is amazing. I'm not, therefore I can't do it. I think this community kind of levels that playing field in such a way where you get to see that their life is messy, right? Life is absolutely messy, and we get to share that with each other. If you want to share it anonymously, that's totally fine, but the message needs to get out there, because so many of us have more of that in common than we have the successes in common. And if we can see that each other are struggling, are challenged, are whatever the scenario is, but we're still showing up for ourselves every day and getting it done, there's some tremendous value in that. I think that's the beauty of what we do, is that we're sharing things, and you're finally hearing from somebody who has a similar life experience to you, and you're watching them succeed. Therefore, the light bulb kind of kicks on. You're like, oh, wait, maybe, you know what? Maybe I can just try a little harder. And that's what it's all about, because, you know, this whole journey is possible. There's so many different paths to success. There's so many possibilities, so many things you can do right to find where you want to go. You got to do them all consistently, or many of them consistently. You got to push in that same direction over and over and over again. You got to wake up every single day thinking, okay, what is it that I can do today to get me closer to the goal that I set for myself? Does this activity push me closer to my goal? Does this activity push me further away? And am I okay with that? You've got to have that kind of mindset constantly going into this to know what it is you're after. We've talked about, you know, goal, the essence of a term being a goal, from a standpoint of your health and your weight and your fitness. I've said over and over again, goal isn't defined by a number on the scale. Goal is defined by how you feel. There are many different ways to kind of beat the scale into submission and get the scale to cooperate, but it may not be the best version of you when you get to that weight that the scale says. The scale can only measure your gravitational pull on the earth. It doesn't measure your attitude. It doesn't measure your mindset. It doesn't measure your sleep. It doesn't measure anything, your health, right? It doesn't measure your blood sugar levels. It doesn't measure any of that. The scale only tells us how much we weigh. That's one factor in a lot of things that we have to consider to determine if we are in fact happy with ourselves, if we can make slight improvements if we want to, but are we genuinely thrilled about where we are? Are we doing everything we can do? So the term goal really is a feeling and a mindset, much more than just a simple number on the scale. That's the piece we kind of want to share with you. And so when we talk about things about, hey, setting goals and setting, you know, getting to a goal, I want us to start thinking a little deeper than just that straight up number. You know, if you are at a weight where the scale says that you are in a healthy BMI range, but you haven't gotten off the couch in 4 months, is that healthy? Probably not, right? But the scale's happy, right? But the rest of your life is just a mess. So we've got to understand that the things that we're doing right. Now, the converse is also true, right? If you've got everything going right in your life, you have a happy family, a happy job, you're getting activity, you're doing blah, 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 everything's going great, but the scale says that, oh, you weigh a little bit too much. You know, we can't then say, well, then screw it, everything else is terrible. We can recognize that you can be in a really good place, and the scale can disagree that you will weigh the perfect amount for your height. And that's okay. Goal is a feeling. You your own. You all by yourself. You're the only one that can set that feeling. You know it. You know it when you put on your favorite clothes. Do I rock this? Do I look amazing? Yep. Okay. Congratulations. Right. That's all that matters. When we're going out to play with the kids, am I enjoying that time? Am I able to participate actively and freely? Yep. Well, congratulations. That's a big deal. Whether the scale agrees or not, it's irrelevant. If you're participating fully in life and you're showing up for yourself every single day, that's what truly matters. That's the piece that we're after. And, you know, and we do all have the tools, right? I mean, you know, there are plenty of tools available, and your email, you know, you definitely have all the tools, right? But so many of us have access. A pair of shoes just to go out for a walk around your neighborhood. You can walk to your mailbox 10 times a day. You can walk down the street, right? No matter where you live, there's a place to walk at least a little bit, right? Maybe you can't walk at home. Okay, well then that work, right? You can walk to your car. There are things you can do to just get some sort of level of activity, regardless of where you are. But we have to prioritize it. We have to say the most important thing in my day, the most important thing in my life right now is to get myself feeling better, mentally, spiritually, physically, healthily. That's the priority. We have to commit to that and say, hey, this is what I want to do today. I want to do this today. Okay, well, let's go do it. And check the things off as you get them done, and just work down that path of really just getting there, right? We all have the time. It's a matter of a priority. And one of my favorite analogies I laugh at is, seems like when we greet people, we greet friends, kind of the common greeting is, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm good. How are you? What you been up to? Oh my God, I've been so busy. Right? We say that so often. Oh, I've been so busy. Like someone on the other side of that conversation is going to instantly go, oh my God, well then there's no, you can do whatever you want because you've been busy. I think we've all been busy and we all get to define what that means. But if you think about if you're using busy as your excuse to not participate fully in life, if you're using busy as the reason why you can't track or the reason why you can't exercise or the reason why you can't, go outside and play walk the dog, the 8-month-old puppy. If busy is the reason, let me ask you this question. If for some reason, let's say you bought a lottery ticket, let's say the lottery's up to, Powerball's up to $2 billion or whatever, right? And you bought a ticket and you won. Would you have time to drive up and cash it, or are you too busy? Right? So it would be a priority in life at that point to go cash this darn thing. You would clear your calendar to go make that happen. I don't care if you had soccer practice. I don't care if you had homework. I don't care if you had work. You would clear your calendar to go do this. And there are plenty of other things on not such a great scale that you would also clear your calendar to do, right? If you want a free vacation and to somewhere, you would take the weekend off and you would go enjoy it. So sometimes we have to re-ask ourselves, am I truly too busy, or have I just not made this goal a priority? And that's the question we gotta continue to ask ourselves over and over again. And the last thing I want to hit before we turn it over and see what Janine thinks on all this is, we talk about, your work as a physician's assistant, and man, my hat's off to you. I can't even imagine what you've been through in that environment. And I have no frame of reference other than what I get through, the news outlets or whatnot. But I truly believe that you're a hero in every sense of the word for all that you've done for so many amazing families who've come to see you for help. One of the things that I think we don't talk enough about, and I'm not getting into the debate, you can do that all you want, but I'm not getting into the debate of whether or not what you should or shouldn't do. But I think the thing that we're not talking enough about is, are there things you personally can do to increase your health, to lower your blood pressure, to decrease your stress, to drop 10 to 15 pounds so that you just, maybe 5% of your weight would make a huge difference in how this thing attacks your body? We don't talk about that enough. And I think as society, a lot of times we want that quick fix and that answer. And, we want someone to say, hey, do this and you're going to be okay. We don't want to put in the work ourselves. Now, there is absolutely a role for modern medicine. There's no question about it. There's a role, but there is a role that we each own to ourselves. And that piece that we own is, what can I do today to give myself a fighting chance if all of the other solutions don't seem to work? Let me take it into my own hands at this point. And what that means is again, maybe dropping 5 or 10 pounds, maybe, walking every single day to get your heart rate up, maybe dropping your blood pressure by eating healthy, right? There's all kinds of things that we can do. Maybe doing some relaxation so the stress levels aren't up, getting some more sleep. If you take care of your body is then more capable of taking care of itself. We have to use that as another way to combat this thing, right? And so I encourage all of us to do that. And so, Laura, hats off to you for all that you've done, taking care of everyone in that lane. But I think now what we need to focus on is, how do we take care of each other? How do we take care of ourselves? And how do we get this thing done? So those are my thoughts out of the gate. I had a lot to say. I apologize.
That's okay. I'm still awake over here. It's good. I think Laura has a lot of things going for her. She's on the right path. She has a great mindset. She knows what she needs to do, what she can do. I love that she's focusing on what she has and what she can start with, instead of focusing on what she used to be able to do. I think a lot of people get stuck in that mindset of, well, I used to be able to do this and I used to be able to do this and now I can't, so I can't do anything. Finding what you can do, adding little bits at a time, keeping it sustainable, so that you can keep working each day to get a little bit better. And she's already enlisted the help of a professional life coach and personal trainer, because we all know puppies are the best personal trainers and life coaches. There is nothing better than a happy puppy walking with its family outside to get you motivated and wanting to do that. So I think that's great too. I also wanted to point out, she made a point to say that, she shared her email because she knows that's how we continue the podcast, which is true. We absolutely need those emails. But I think the other piece to that that's so important is we want you to share your email so that other people can hear about your journey and be inspired by what you're doing.
Yep, absolutely.
And I know you mentioned a lot of people are, they listen while they're walking, while they're running, while they're exercising for the day. That's their commitment each day to do that. But when you're not out exercising or listening to the podcast during those downtimes, you also have the Wise Wingman page on Facebook that people can go to be a part of that community all day, every day, for those seeking a little more camaraderie and people who understand exactly what you're going through. I know that page is helpful for you as well, because I don't always understand every in and out of this journey. So that's another resource as well.
Yeah, and with that, right there, you're right. The Facebook Wise Wingman community has been tremendous, right? And we dabbled a couple times into making a community in a place called Discord. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. If you have a 13-year-old child, ask them. They are. But Discord is an online community. And I dabbled a couple times trying to build this up. And there's probably about 700 members or so in there that loosely participate. There's a core group of about a dozen of us that are in there pretty regularly. But one of the things I loved about it is there was no advertisements, there was no distractions, no political ads, no junk, right? It was just strictly a community of just us focusing on it. And so I'm going to kind of put a link back in the show notes here. If you want to join that community, there's no cost to do that. You just jump in and just participate into an active forum and, different topics, different things. And, but it gives us an opportunity to share on a platform that's kind of a little more private. I was thinking the other day, I was joking, like, if you want to know what you're getting for Christmas, go to your significant other's phone, open Facebook, scroll through their feed and see what the sponsored ads are. And there's a good chance somewhere in there's something that you're getting for Christmas because they thought about it, they looked at it, they researched it. And I'm not a big tech guy, so that part always made me irritable every time I'd see, we talk about something, next thing that shows up in my feed. But so this community kind of gets us away from that algorithm, so to speak, and gets us a place where we can kind of just talk about ourselves and our journey to get us back into that track. So great insight, Jenny. And you're right, a puppy is absolutely a great physical personal trainer.
Mm-hmm. And life coach. They sleep when they're tired. They play when they want to play. No stress, no worries. It's good. We should all be like that.
They don't have to go to work. Maybe that's the answer. So
we should put her to work.
Yeah. Laura, the other thing you mentioned that I want to kind of hit up on, and I think we're coming up on, you talked about you were upset with WW for switching up plans, and I can relate to that. I did very well before freestyle hit. Once freestyle hit, I never really found my groove back during freestyle. And then, green was closest back to what I was doing. And then by that point, lost a little bit of the mojo. And here we are coming up in the end of the year. And the rumors are that WW is changing their plan again. Right. And, the significance behind that, or the rationale behind that, is they're always looking for ways to tweak their plan to better ourselves and, following the science, all that good stuff. But I think what that, to me, more than anything proves is that there's no right way to do this. Even a billion-dollar company is still trying to figure out what the best tool is to help the most amount of people. But that doesn't mean they're helping every single person. So each of us individually have to find out what works for us individually, follow that, do that, tweak what we can, make the most success that we can. But every tool that's available to you, you've got to explore and find the one that fits. And Janine talked about getting outside and starting where you are. And, we started riding bikes again. And, you think about, I posted this on Facebook the other day too, that, we got these new e-bikes and, I laughed the first time I thought of getting an e-bike. I was like, that's silly. What's the point? And back in that day, I was running about 7 miles pretty regularly. So riding a motorized bike for exercise seemed kind of pointless. And I tell you now, fast forward 3 years, it's instrumental right now as far as for my mindset. And I'm enjoying being out there because it's just given me the opportunity to pick up where I am now and move forward. And that's kind of the piece we all need to do, is say, where are you at now? It doesn't matter where you were. It doesn't matter where you want to be. Where are you at right now? Okay, now what can we do right now to move that needle forward and get going? So, so as the plan rolls in and the new change switches up, find ways to kind of adapt, just like you said, and bring that consistency back into your life and the amount of focus that you need to get this thing done. Any last words, Janine? We'll wrap this up.
Well, I think just, what she said about meal planning and just preparing, I think you mention it all the time, but failing to plan is a plan to fail. And we notice like the weeks that we meal plan, we are much better about sticking to it. And then we have more time at night because we've eaten at home. The weeks that we forget to meal plan or life gets crazy, throws us a curveball, suddenly the whole week's shot. We can't just look at that day as, oh, today was just crazy and then start fresh tomorrow. It's like, oh, well, next Monday we'll meal plan. And we get into that mindset too sometimes because life's busy and life's crazy. And this summer really threw us all for a loop. Our life was a little bit chaotic for about 2 months. But I think just getting back to what works, simple little things. For us, it's the meal planning. It's the having snacks that we like at home so that we don't go out to get something similar, and doing more things like that so that we have time in our day to go for a bike ride or go for a walk or just do things that we enjoy.
Yeah, there's only so many hours in a day. And if you're spending them all in a car driving to and from a place or, sitting in a restaurant waiting for someone to refill your water, that's an hour you could have gotten back that you could have gone for a walk or whatever the scenario is. So, I just want to, I love when you say that a plan, failing to plan is planning to fail. And what that means is you by deliberately not planning, you've made a plan to not plan, right? So that's your plan. And so now you're going to, because you don't have a plan, failure is imminent. And so planning to fail is failing to plan. And however you want to say it, my words get kind of jumbled here, but you get the concept is you have to take deliberate action. You have to get focused. You have to say, hey, here's what I want to do, not let the time fill itself. And, it's a lot easier to let the time go by. But if you have it planned out, you say, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Like right now, we're going to sign off on the podcast and we have a to-do list of things we've got to get done today. And we're going to leave here. We're going to check them off one by one by one. If we didn't have them written down, we would have left here and said, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. And we'd spend all day talking about it. So, Laura, thanks for your email. A lot of great nuggets in here. Really, really thrilled that you captured them all. Right. And I think so many other people are kind of right now going, yep, I get it. Right. And so if that's you, email in onair@fatdag.com. Heather and Lisa will take your email. They'll script it up and get it set up so we can kind of talk about it on the next podcast, next episode going forward. But email in onair@fatdag.com. But remember that, losing weight and getting healthy, it doesn't take luck. It takes deliberate action, focus. You've got to do this because you want to do it. So on behalf of Heather and Lisa, our producers, Janine and I, we sign out here saying we wish you good focus.